Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a fundamental blueprint that really powerful writers use to build arguments that are not just clear, but also incredibly persuasive.
So let's start with a feeling I bet we've all had. You've got these amazing, complex ideas swirling around in your mind, but then you try to write them down and it just comes out as a jumbled mess. It's super frustrating, and it's a really common problem.
But what if I told you that there's a simple, foundational structure that can completely transform your writing? The secret isn't about finding fancier, more academic-sounding words. Nope. It's about having a better plan, a better blueprint. And that blueprint starts with a core pattern.
Okay, so let's get into it. We're calling this the writer's blueprint, and it's all about mastering a structure known as the general to specific pattern, or just GS for short. This thing is an absolute cornerstone of clear and effective communication.
You know, the concept itself is incredibly simple, but its power is huge. You just start wide with a big general statement that gets your reader on the same page as you, and then you systematically narrow your focus, guiding them step by step down a logical path.
A perfect way to visualize this is to think of it as a funnel for your ideas, right? You pour all your broad, general thoughts into the wide opening at the top. The funnel's job is to then channel and concentrate all of that into a single, sharp, and really impactful point at the very bottom.
And the flow is basically a three-step process. First, you open up with a general idea to kind of set the scene. Second, you start building on that idea with clarifying facts and supporting evidence. And then finally, you land on a highly specific conclusion or a really concrete example that drives your main point home.
So, you've got this funnel. Where do you even begin? Well, a very common and super effective starting point is a powerful definition. It's just the perfect way to make sure you and your reader are on the same page right from the get-go.
But listen, we're not just talking about grabbing something from the dictionary. A truly strong, formal definition has its own anatomy. There are three key parts. First, the term itself, then the general category or class it belongs to, and finally, the really important part, the distinguishing features that make it unique.
And this structure makes a world of difference. For instance, a weak definition might just say, a fault is where there's a fracture in the Earth's crust. It's fine, but it's pretty vague. Now check out the strong version. A fault is a fracture in which the rock on one side moves in relation to the rock on the other. See that? Adding those distinguishing features creates instant precision. It sounds authoritative.
Okay, so theory is great, but what does this GS funnel actually look like in practice? Let's break down an example about reality television and just watch how this structure works its magic, sentence by sentence.
So we begin at the absolute widest part of the funnel. It's a broad, orienting statement that just about everyone can agree with. It sets the stage perfectly.
Okay, next sentence. You can already feel it narrowing a little bit, right? The author connects reality TV to its roots in documentary, which gives us some important context.
And now the focus sharpens again. We introduce a specific academic tool for analysis, this idea of a fact/fiction continuum. We're getting much more precise. And boom, we've arrived at the very tip of the funnel. We land on these super concrete examples, docu-soaps, quiz shows, that prove the larger point. That's the journey right there, from a massive, general idea all the way down to a specific list of shows.
All right, so once you get the hang of the general to specific pattern, you can try a really cool advanced move. You can literally flip the blueprint on its head.
This is what we call the specific to general, or SG pattern. So instead of starting broad, this structure hooks the reader right away with fascinating little details. It creates this awesome sense of mystery or discovery before you finally reveal the big picture.
So let's see how this works. Imagine an argument that doesn't start with some big theory about art. No, instead, it begins with the physical, nitty-gritty description of one small statue.
Just notice how we're starting here with these very specific sensory details. We're talking ivory, bronze, green onyx. It's not abstract at all, is it? It grounds us in the object, makes you feel like you can almost touch it.
And the text keeps building this foundation of facts, adding more little data points, like the artist's name,
and the probable time period. We are still completely zoomed in on the details of this one object.
And here it is. This is the big reveal of the inverted funnel. After carefully laying out all those specific details, the argument suddenly zooms out to a broad, general conclusion. It places the statue and its creator into the wider Art Deco movement. Brilliant, right? We started with the statue and ended with the style. So, at the end of the day, why does any of this matter? I mean, why is mastering these two blueprints, the classic funnel and the inverted one, so critically important? Well, it goes way beyond just organizing your paragraphs. Ultimately, it really just comes down to this. By consciously choosing and using these structures, you're not just shuffling words around. You're taking control of your reader's journey. You're turning that tangled mess of ideas into a clear, logical path that builds trust and makes your insights land with so much more impact.
So the real question for you is, what blueprint are you going to use for your next big idea? Whether you go for the classic top-down funnel to guide your reader from the big picture to a fine point, or you try the inverted one to build from intriguing details to a grand conclusion, having a blueprint is the essential first step. It's how you turn great ideas into truly powerful writing.